Alright, so it has come to this, and if you're on TikTok, you've probably seen more than a dozens of such videos.
In the middle of class because I'm teaching seniors. These kids are leaving high school and going to college, hopefully, after they finish. We had 2 paragraphs to read, one sentence complete to write. I gave them the sentence stems. I basically completed the sentence for them in the model. These are 17 and 18-year-old kids, and they couldn't fill in 4 words. 4 words. I gave them the scenario. We annotated together. I gave them the answers before we even had the problem. And they couldn't do it. I don't know.
Now, if I was an American and I saw this, the thing that would piss me off would surprise you. Because I generally don't give a shit if other kids can't learn. In fact, that's a great thing, right? Because I know that my child will learn because I'm going to spend time making sure that he does. And so my child is going to have an advantage. Like my family on the hierarchy is going to be all the way to the top, right? Because all the other people are uneducated and dumb. And so, like, this is legitimately what I want, right? Like, I want to be on top of the ladder. Like, why is it my interest that other people perform better than my son? No, like, I'm going to do everything possible for my son to perform better. And if other people are struggling so their children perform worse, like, that's just, it just happens to be. But I'm not going to complain about it. No, if I was in America, the thing that would piss me off is that this is your taxpayer money, right? Like, instead of more money being sent to your son, to your family, the government takes away and wastes it on a system that is obviously not working, right? Now, I generally don't know if this teacher is to blame because, like, he's upset and he's crying, so, like, most people assume, well, he's a good teacher. I personally don't know if he is. Right? Like, being a good teacher doesn't just mean knowing English. It also means, like, knowing how to instill discipline into your kids. And so if you can't do that, or if the government doesn't allow you to do that, we're going to talk about that in a bit, then it doesn't matter how good you are and how compassionate and kind you are. If the kid doesn't want to learn, then, there's also this, and some people have pointed out, which is... what Thomas Sowell said, if you want to see the poor remaining poor, generation after generation, just keep the standards low in their schools and make excuses for their academic shortcomings and personal misbehavior. But please don't congratulate yourself for your compassion. This is actually something I've noticed in Romania. One of the ways that teachers were being assessed on how good they are as a teacher was to see... how many kids they have that graduated with good grades. And so if you had a class where children didn't study and they flunked, it reflected poorly on the teacher. And so there was like this teacher conspiracy that, okay, we all need to get them to pass. But seriously, right? Because, again, incentives matter, right? Like the person that decided how can we assess if teachers are good or not, he generally thought about it logically, right? Like good teachers have many kids that pass. But for that to happen, it would mean that teachers are robots. They're like AI and they don't change, right? But the moment the law passed, teachers realized, oh shit, it's like, what if we all just talk to each other and we don't fail anyone, even if they're retarded? We just refuse to fail them and then we look good, right, as a school. And that's pretty much what happens. So, like, you have this mentality that everybody needs to pass, when in reality, no. Not everybody needs to pass. Some actually need to fail. Sometimes it's actually good for the person that failed, because once they fail, they go home, they get a scolding, like their parents are upset, and then they may actually try harder to learn, and you may generally help them rather than hinder them. But then you also have this, right? Like Illinois public schools have been mandated to teach LGBTQ history to kids before they even finish the 8th grade. This law signed by Governor Pritzker shifts the classroom focus away from core academics like math and reading. Our schools should be focused on foundational education and raising academic standard, not pushing social agenda. Well, I mean, the LGBT stuff, right? Like, there is a leftist that wrote a book, and once he gave it to school, the rights means that he's entitled to royalties. It means that a lot of teachers can now teach LGBT so they get more money. So it's an amazing grift. And it also makes politicians look good, right? Because they're progressive, they're the new man. And so they have to push the grift at the expense of the children, which the politicians, again, like, they want children to be dumb because they also think like me, right? Like, politicians think like my children should be more intelligent, should be clever. And if all the other kids are dumb from public schooling, my kids have an advantage. A lot of people get horrified when I say how I'm thinking, but this is how the elites think. Like it or not, it's true. You can moralize all you want, but, you know, the elites don't even care that you exist, so your morality falls on deaf ears. But there's also COVID that needs to be mentioned. You know, if only we can save one life. A lot of this shit happened after COVID because learning from home is not really learning. And a lot of children actually suffered heavily after COVID, and I think that's when a lot of them didn't learn how to read, right? Now, it's also the way technology works. In the past, during my age, almost everybody was reading. Because for hobby, for entertainment, when you had nothing to do, you would read. So before the internet, right, like many generations that came after me didn't actually experience a life without the internet, but I did. And before the internet, when you were home and you had nothing to do, you had two options. Well, actually, you had three. One of them was to listen to music or the radio. The other was to watch television. And the third one was to read. And a lot of children read. Obviously, they didn't read stuff for school, right? But they read the literature like Jules Verne. They would read various comics, you know. But they would read. And so, like it or not, you would learn how to read just by, you know, being curious about what the new adventure of Superman was. And you had to learn to read in order to enjoy them. Now kids have smartphones. And there's a lot of TikTok videos and audiobooks and stuff, so they don't actually learn to read as much as we did because the incentive is not there, right? And it's also the discipline. Now, when I went to school, and I actually had subscribers horrified when I said that, look, this is what happened, it worked. My teacher used to have like a huge ruler, right? And whenever someone misbehaved in class, she would bring the ruler, force the kid to show his palms, and just smack you over the palm with the ruler. It was humiliating and very painful. But everybody behaved, right? Like, she was a woman, and nobody would say anything improper. Nobody would breathe out of line. Like, everyone was just like a saint. It was almost like a military school. Now, when I said this, a couple of brainlets were like, oh, so V is for child beating, you're for child abuse, right? Now, this is the Anglosphere mentality. And so it's like, okay, I'm not. You know what? Send your kids to public schools. And when they come home as a failure, tell them they're amazing. And never do anything wrong, you know? And if they do something that's misbehaving, right? Like, for example, there was an article where a kid bit a teacher, right? By all means, do not hurt that kid, right? Do not smack him, do not punish him. No, like, call the cops on him, you know? Call the cops on your children, because that's what a civilized society does, right? Give them a criminal record. Oh, they fought at the playground. Well, normally, my teacher would just grab me by the hair, give me a little shake, and after that, I would calm the fuck down. But apparently, no, right? That's child abuse. You're absolutely right. Yes, call the cops. Call the police on your children, because, like, that's what a moral society does, you know? The old ways are barbaric, tyrannical, from Eastern Europe. Horrible. Do it properly. Call the cops. Put them in prison, right? Scare them straight. Yeah, like, the main issue is that a lot of the policies that are happening in modern schools are emotionally driven. They are not scientifically driven. Like, we don't actually try to see what works, what doesn't, and more importantly, like, what the fuck do you want to achieve? Like, what is the goal of public education? Is it indoctrination? Is it just for teachers to have a job? Is it because you want children to get good grades? Like, which one is it, right? Is it that you want children to learn morality, or that you want children to learn how to get a job or how to start a business? No one can answer this, right? Like, notice the role of school is something ambiguous. It's a little bit of everything. Well, if it's a little bit of everything, you can't audit it. Like, what results are you looking for? Anyway, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, we'll see each other in the comment section. Take care.